10:30 at WNBF on a Monday morning, March 1st. We're joined now by Corey Green, Superintendent of the Owego-Appalachian School District. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob. How are you today?
Doing okay. Are you in your beautiful office in Owego?
I am in my office, yes.
Very good. So how are things going right now in the school district? What's your status? Everybody back to normal?
Yeah, for the most part, we're back to normal. Our elementary schools, we're about 95% of our students that are back in person, and really the bulk of our students have been in person in grades K through 6 the entire school year for 5 days a week. We're expanding grades 7 through 12, actually, as we speak, to extend more days. We extended to 3 days here a week or two ago, and we're planning to go to 4 and then transition to 5 as well. So I feel like we're moving in the right direction. You know, our staff has done an incredible job this year with all the challenges. Our students, have certainly been resilient, and families have been, really supportive in what we've done. So we're very appreciative.
And what a year it's been. Who would guess 12 months ago, let's face it, March 1st, 2020, nobody had a clue that you would be going on such a strange, long and winding road. You and educators all across the country would be dealing with so many challenges.
Yeah, it's certainly been challenging. And, the thing that we've talked a lot about is, we face adversity year after year in different ways. Obviously, this was pretty significant adversity, but, our staff rises to the challenge and, takes adversity head on. And, for the most part, we've been really progressive here for several years in terms of technology. So some of that transition, while it wasn't perfect, was fairly seamless for us. And obviously, there's challenges on all different facets, but for the most part, our staff and our students are really accustomed to, using technology and have done really just a great job.
From a health standpoint, how hard has the Owego-Appalachian District been hit because of COVID in terms of students, staff, teachers, and just the community in general?
I think, we've had our share of cases. More recently, it's slowed down quite a bit. One of the things that we've been watching closely is we really haven't seen any transmission in our classrooms from student to student. So if there's a positive case of a staff member or a student, it's typically isolated, and that's obviously due to, students wearing and staff wearing masks and following the guidelines and protocols, pretty strictly, and they've done a great job with that. So most of that spread typically comes from, outside within the community, but within the school, they've done a great job.
So looking forward, as things sort of begin to get closer to normal, still not really normal, but getting back to what we enjoyed pre-pandemic, are you able to start making tentative plans for the end of the school year, for whether special events, award ceremonies, potential maybe for some kind of concerts, or even preparing for graduation activities in June? Obviously, June is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, no, these are ongoing conversations, and, we continue to follow the state guidelines and local Department of Health, and things are starting to ease up a little bit, so that's exciting in terms of moving forward, and we hope that continues to loosen up even more. We've started to have athletics here, and we really haven't had any significant problems to date. And obviously, we're going to move into our fall season, which practices start today, and the majority of our events are outside. So, we'll be looking at attendance for those events as well. But we're having conversations about the best way to continue to open up and expand what we're doing, and obviously in a safe manner and within the guidelines as best as we can do. But I'm hopeful that things are really headed in the right direction, and by late springtime here, we can take on some of these events.
Well, it would be nice to have a graduation ceremony that might be closer to a traditional ceremony this year.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I think, there were some good things that we took out of last year that maybe we can use moving forward, but as normal as possible would be great. I think we're all at that point. We would love for that to be the case, and we'll continue to shoot for that, and we'll see what happens.
So how many students are currently enrolled in the Owego-Appalachian District? What's the current enrollment?
So our total enrollment is right about 1,900 students. We saw a little shift this year, I think, at the kindergarten level. Some parents decided that, they would do homeschooling. But for the most part, our numbers have stayed fairly consistent across the board and what we expected. So we're doing okay.
And how are things in terms of overall facilities? As you alluded to earlier, school districts over the years has faced a range of challenges, including a lot of damage from the flooding in September 2011 before you became superintendent. But in the aftermath of that flooding, a lot of construction and changes were made within the district. How is the district overall set in terms of school buildings, plus your new administration building and so on? Is everything all pretty much finalized now?
Yeah, we're at the final stages really with FEMA. Obviously, as you're aware, it's a long process that you go through when you're working with FEMA. And we're on the finished stretch here, and we have great facilities. It's exciting for kids to be able to be here every day and have such nice facilities. So we're in a great place in terms of our footprint and our facility outlook. We're in the middle of a capital project right now where we're upgrading some things in our high school and some areas of Appalachian Elementary School as well. So we're really going to be in a great place as that rounds out and those upgrades are completed. We feel really good as far as what our facilities will be across the board.
Speaking with Corey Green, the superintendent of the Owego-Appalachian School District. So you've been superintendent now for just a little under 5 years, correct?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So it goes fast. I think again, you think about the different challenges you face year to year, and certainly, we're in the heart of budget season now, and taking a look at budget and really focusing on avoiding a repeat of history, which we saw, I think, around 2009, 2010 with the Great Recession, and how that impacted school districts. So we've done a lot of pre-planning. We've been successful in terms of being able to control budget this year and put some funds away for the rainy days that are yet to come, I believe, here over the next 3 to 4 to 5 years.
So for the upcoming proposed budget, do you think that it's going to require any trimming in staffing in the district, or can staff levels remain the same?
I think for the most part we're going to be okay in terms of staff levels, but we've got to be cognizant of spending moving forward. And when stimulus funds come in, and when you look at the analysis of past experiences, as I mentioned previously, of 2009, 2010, the bigger concern is when those stimulus funds go away, and as the revenue continues to dwindle over the years, that becomes a concern. So there's got to be a lot of forward thinking and planning in terms of when that comes about, and to be prepared for that. So we feel pretty confident of the position we're in right now, that we can keep things fairly stable here, and just continue to keep an eye on this for the future.
How is the Owego-Appalachian community doing in terms of just overall coping skills during a pandemic? It's one thing to try to protect yourself from the virus. That of course, has been, I think, the top priority for the past 12 months. But when people are forced into several months of virtual learning, and some, of course, families have dealt with job losses and all sorts of things that were related directly or indirectly to COVID, it creates additional challenges, substance abuse challenges, potential mental health issues, even potential increases in suicide. How is the district overall dealing with the challenges to its student population as well as to staff and faculty? Everybody is affected.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think across the community, as things begin to open up, we're recognizing that there's concerns out there. One of the things from day one when this started in last March was our big focus was really on relationships and knowing that several students would be on remote learning in some aspect for a period of time, and everything really revolved around relationships and our staff really reaching out to families and to students and checking in on them to make sure that they're okay. Certainly, we recognize that there's going to be some long range concerns in terms of mental health, and we're making some adjustments right now. We're in the process of front loading a little bit with going to hire some social workers to be able to work with students and with families, and obviously our guidance department, our school psychologists. But really, it's a team effort across the board with all of our staff, and those connections and relationships are crucial, and they've really been our number one priority. With quite intensity here over the past year.
I noticed one of your recent tweets.
Moving forward, certainly there's has to be assessments. If you look at a lot of states, there's typically a fourth grade and eighth grade, and then maybe an 11th grade math and ELA exit assessment. One of the things we've worked real hard at here, Bob, is really the connection to workforce development and trying to get students authentic experiences for internships. And, we've had really good success with that. And we believe that is what the crucial piece is moving forward, and giving kids more opportunities and creating more flexibility for them to try different courses and engage in different courses is crucial. So we just received a $200,000 workforce development grant from New York State. So we're excited to put that to use as we continue to expand some of our career and tech programs here, such as building and construction systems, which we have up and running now. And we're planning to open up a heavy equipment program as well. So there's a lot of good things happening here, moving in the right direction. I just feel that that flexibility in how we go about assessing students, could be done so much differently and create more options for kids.
And your tweet was pretty clear from a few days ago. If the Regents requirement is removed, you tweeted, best thing that could happen for kids. Time for this change to happen.
Yeah, in my opinion, it really is. You look at the opportunity for us in offering college courses and advanced placement courses. A student could walk out of here essentially with a 2-year degree with more flexibility in their schedules. And, in terms of the trades that we're beginning to offer here, internship experience, and, kids are going to spend a lot of money potentially if they decide to go to college, and getting out there in the community and connecting with local businesses and really getting a sense of what's out there is really important. So that's been, kind of the work we've done collectively. Our collective impact worked with the community through Project STEAM 21. We're focused on connecting with local businesses and stakeholders and trying to get our students out there to see what's right here in their community, because our goal that even if they do leave for college, that maybe they come back knowing what's here in the community.
Attendance always is challenging for every school district. What's the experience been for Owego-Appalachian during this very unusual and period of almost constant change, virtual teaching and also returning to some in-person instruction? What have you found in terms of attendance trends over the last 12 months?
Yeah, they've really been pretty good for the most part. We track them closely, and obviously we communicate, with students or families of those who may be having some struggles. One of the things that we've seen really in the shift of our synchronous learning from a remote learning standpoint is most elementary kids miss on average of anywhere from 7 to 10 days a year with any kind of illness, whether it be a sore throat or a headache or stuffy nose. But what we've found now is when we're offering synchronous learning, that even if a student is out of school for some reason, they're typically logging in and they're engaging into the classroom. So we're finding that they're actually, they're able to stay more involved and connected that way, as traditionally where, they weren't able to do that. So there's certainly some pluses of that. There's things that we continue to work through, at the secondary level in moving forward of tracking attendance. And at the bottom line, I think, we've learned a lot from this, and, I think we would be fairly foolish to try to move back completely to the traditional way that we've always done school. I think opportunity and flexibility for students is crucial. Some students have really thrived in these types of models, and, we look forward to really looking closely at this as we move forward.
Are some students still having problems in terms of the technology, whether it's the actual hardware or fast enough internet access in parts of the district?
I would say at this point it's a really small percentage, and right when things kicked off initially with the pandemic, we ran a hotline system here, and we're in communication with anybody that was having issues. So we've gotten students hotspots. We send them iPads that have data packages. Every one of our students here has one-to-one iPads, and Apple has great infrastructure as far as their equipment goes. So it's hit and miss here and there. Obviously, in our own homes, we know that sometimes Wi-Fi isn't perfect. Sometimes it's spotty, but for the most part, it's been pretty consistent and gone pretty well. And I think, hopefully, moving forward and looking at some of the stimulus funds that are potentially going to be allocated, a lot of it really appears to be towards infrastructure and improving, Wi-Fi and internet services. So, for the most part, we've had really good success.
Anything else you'd like to add right now?
No, I mean, I can't thank our staff enough, and our students and our entire community for their support. And we look forward to obviously things opening back up, and look forward to being progressive as we move forward with how we do things. So it's as much as it's been an adversarial time, it's also exciting to think about what we've learned and where we can go.
Owego Appalachian School Superintendent Corey Green, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Bob. Have a great day.
You as well.